Well, what did you think of that? Nissan in-game live on the air. Ron Jaworski, I'm Michael Barkann. Jaws 13-6. Philadelphia Eagles with the lead, and that is the bottom line. Not a pretty half of football. No. And we heard Jason Avant say during our pregame show, it might have been during a commercial break, he said, I'd rather play in rain than in wind. How much do you think the wind affected the pass game of Jalen Hurts and Jared Goff for that matter?
Yeah, I would agree with Jason Avant. I'd much rather play in rain rather than wind. I mean, you could tell NBC had some great shots the way the ball was moving, especially from the kickers. You get outside 30 yards, that ball was moving a good 10, 12 yards. So it certainly does make a difference. But outside of the wind, I thought our defense was phenomenal.
Lights out.
Phenomenal. This is a defense that is going to get better every single week. The interception was a big play of the game. The front four playing great, and the linebackers scraping, making plays everywhere. I thought the secondary, except for a couple lapses, for the two big plays, they got the touchdown for the Lions. I thought the defense played outstanding.
All right, this was let's get down to brass tacks. We know this was a week of controversy. The old saying is the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and A.J. Brown was the squeaky wheel. He had 8 targets for 6 catches. He's got 63 yards for A.J. Brown. 43
yards, right?
6 catches, but conversely, Devontae Smith doesn't have a catch on 4 targets. So what did you make of that?
Well, I think you want to spread the ball a little more evenly, but we talked about it at length ad nauseum on the pregame show. That AJ was going to get his wish. That's just the way things are going to work out. The quarterback's been hearing about it. The coach hearing about it. The owner's hearing about it. He got his targets, got his catches. So, again, you look in the way the half was played, it wasn't dynamic. It wasn't explosive. But I guess A.J. Brown will be happy with that. But the bottom line is we have a 13-6 lead. The defense is playing great. We got a couple of good runs in there, which I thought was very helpful. Lane Johnson is out. That kind of concerns me a little bit, but Johnson comes in and did a really good job. Fred's filled in admirably whenever he's called upon. So I think we're in good shape, but I've been really impressed with this defense because it's a very, very dynamic, explosive Detroit Lions offense, and they just didn't get any traction except for 2 plays in that first half.
I got a text during the half from a viewer. Okay, it was my wife Ellen, but she's a viewer, and she said, why aren't they running the ball more? I said they're trying, but it wasn't going so well. Certainly they did get some bursts, but you look at Saquon, 12 carries, 32 yards, 2.7 yards per carry. And again, it's just not what we're used to seeing from him. How much of that is the play selection and how much of it is the line?
It's more the line to me. I mean, this is the same group that's dominated last year. This is the same group, basically, the same group that, led the way for 2,000 yards to Saquon Barkley. Tank Bigsby come in at 3 carries for 20. I think he had 29 or 30 yards. Mm-hmm. Let me look it up. 29 yards on 3 carries, almost 10 yards a carry. So I don't know. Does that lead you to believe that maybe Saquon's losing a step and Tank looks quicker and faster? I mean, in a quick, brief synopsis in that first half, it almost looked that way.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they blocked the edge on the long run really nice. I mean, Fred Johnson did a terrific job of collapsing the whole right side of that the offensive line, which Tank then took advantage of it. But I always say it's never one thing in the running game. It's never one thing. It's an inch. It's an inch that you miss a tackle by or make a tackle. You grab a shoestring, don't grab a shoestring. It's always the offensive line coming off the ball. It starts with the offensive line. The running game, I don't care who your running backs are. I don't mean that negatively, but the offensive line, like last year, I mean, when you look at what Saquon did, first contact was like 4 yards down the field. This year is down to like 1 yard. So a huge difference. So that goes to show you the disparity, what the offensive line did last year and what they're doing this year to get Saquon started.
Is this just going to be the recipe for the offense or for this Eagles team going forward? The defense battens down the hatches, and they play great, and the offense ekes out a couple of points here and there, and the defense scores the rest of them, and that's how they're going to win games.
It's kind of been that way over the last month, although most have been wins. They've been struggling wins, and the defense has been the reason they were winning was because the defense is doing outstanding, but the offense just continues to flounder. I mean, except that last drive, we didn't do a whole lot on offensively.
Yeah. All right. What are you looking for second half as the Eagles try to expand their lead? 13-6, they're up.
Detroit's going to get the ball, so I think they Crazy Dan Campbell, I said in a loving way. I mean, he's fourth down and fake punts. And
twice that defense locks him down.
And let's give the Eagles coaching staff some credit. We were well prepared for the gimmicks and gadgets that Detroit threw at us. So props to the coaching staff having the Eagles players ready for those things. But I think you'll see Detroit come out in the second and try to open up a little bit more. They've got, as we saw in 2 plays, boom, boom, they're in the end zone. They have explosive wide receivers. Jahmyr Gibbs, their running back, is explosive as hell. So I think they're going to try to spread the field a little more and be a little more aggressive.
Right. Although it looked like there was some mix-up on the 40-yard touchdown reception by Detroit. He was wide open.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess those things do happen every now and then, but they happen to our advantage.
They sure do.
Yeah.
All right. Reminder coming up. Clock hits 0. We got Eagles post-game live. Ron Jaworski, Barrett Brooks, Ruben, Frank, and Jason Avant talking about, we hope, a big Eagles win. We'll see you then.